What's up, guys? My name is Gabe, and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the instant reaction to USC's 34-24 loss to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. First things first, congrats to Notre Dame. You guys were the better team tonight. Much more physical, much more better coached. You guys absolutely deserve the W, so congrats to you. But moving to the USC side of things. Now, am I surprised we lost? No. We were a 10.5 point underdog by the time the game kicked off. We lost by 10. I don't know what kind of voodoo Vegas has where they just know that these things are going to happen, but they called it. So the fact that we lost the game is not why I'm going to be upset during this instant reaction. And honestly, I'm not even that upset compared to other losses. Like the Illinois game, we were significantly the better team in that one. We were far more talented. That's not a game USC should be losing. Tonight, we just lost to a better team and a better coaching staff, plain and simple. Taking a look at the box score, do you want to know why USC lost the game? 306 yards on the ground for the Irish, 68 for USC. 29 rushing attempts, 68 yards. That is a 2.3 yards per attempt. In other words, god-awful. Much like in the Illinois game, playing on the road, we got our asses kicked by a much more physical team. I don't know what happens to USC when we get on a plane and fly somewhere else, but we leave all of our toughness in Los Angeles. There is so much to get into, but before I do, I have to talk about Lincoln Riley. So, Lincoln Riley was the weak link tonight. That first drive that he had scripted was brilliant. It worked to perfection, but they figured him out so damn fast. And once again, in these big moments, in these big games on the road, Lincoln Riley shrinks and he makes massive mistakes. We saw it at Michigan last year, and we saw it once again in this game. On the 4th and inches, where we come out in a heavy set, do a play action boot to the right, trying to catch Lake McCree to get him off guard. Jaden Mayava's rolling out, and he only has one option, and Lake is completely surrounded. There's nowhere to go with the ball. A terrible play call. It is 4th and inches in the fourth quarter in the driving rain. You have a 6'4", 225-pound quarterback. Why aren't we QB sneaking ever? I do not understand. And only giving Jaden one option, terrible, terrible call. And then let's talk about the Mekhi Lemon double pass. Again, it's the fourth quarter. What is Notre Dame doing on offense? They're driving the ball down our throat. They're running the ball. They're playing physical, doing exactly what they need to. And what are we doing? We're running double pass reverses in the driving rain. And I'm seeing a lot of people get on Mekhi Lemon for fumbling. And should he have fumbled? No. But guys, he's a wide receiver. And Lincoln Riley is asking him to carry the ball, decipher whether he should throw, tuck, or just get out of bounds in a critical spot in the fourth quarter on the road in the rain. What in the world was Lincoln Riley thinking calling that play? You know it's bad when USC Twitter, the announcers, everybody is in lockstep saying that was an atrocious play call. And frankly, he has to be better. He's one of the highest paid coaches in the country. He probably has the highest paid coaching staff in the country. All the narrative surrounding this program that USC is soft, USC can't play on the road, we proved them all tonight. Before the game, I tweeted that I'm not expecting anything tonight but to see USC come out swinging, play fast, play physical, and compete in this game. And we did compete. And we had little bursts of physicality, but on the defensive side, it's not there. When we play on the road, we are not a tough defense. Desmond Stevens tonight was just not good enough, plain and simple. He was on his back far too often. He got physically dominated time and time again. The linebackers as a whole just weren't good tonight, but the interior of this defensive line. Jakeem Stewart, he's a true freshman who should be in high school. He gets a pass. He flashes. He makes plays. He's not going to be perfect down in, down out. So take him and slide him off to the side. Jakeem Stewart is not included in this statement. But the rest of the guys in that interior defensive line, your Keyshawn Silver, who got paid a lot of money to come over here from Kentucky, not good enough. Notre Dame has been struggling to run the ball the last few weeks. They've been an air-it-out passing team. And they come out tonight against this supposed elite coaching defensive staff, this very highly compensated front seven, and they completely annihilated us, and it was non-competitive for the majority of the game. And look, as incredible as Jeremiah Love is, and he for sure is an amazing talent, I'm glad we will not be seeing him anymore. That kid is special. But it doesn't take an elite running back to run through the holes that Notre Dame created. Our defensive line got their asses kicked. And don't just let me single out the interior of the line. Our ends tonight, nowhere near good enough. I mean, you don't even need to hear the stats, but I'll tell you them anyway. Jeremiah Love, 24 carries for 228 yards, 1 score. Jadarian Price, 13 carries, 87 yards, 1 score. The secondary held their own tonight. CJ Carr was 16 to 26 for 136, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Now, was that interception a complete gift? Yes, it was. He was rattled the majority of that first half, but still, our secondary tonight was not the problem. I loved Carlos Nicholson's attitude. That guy was fighting the entire game, but I'm not sure if you guys caught this or not. It's something I was paying attention to and looking for directly. In the moments of adversity on our sideline, no fire, no passion, guys yawning, guys laughing. And then they show the Irish sideline, even when they were down, fire, focus, locked in. We didn't come into this game with the right mentality to win. So while we kept it close at times, while we held the lead at times, we didn't possess that killer instinct or just the general mentality to actually pull it off and win the game. On offense, we could not run the ball tonight. Our offensive line got their ass kicked. I see some people getting mad at Jaden Maiava. I don't know why. 22 of 42, 328, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, not good. I completely understand that. Jaden Maiava was not the issue tonight. There's a lot of people that are hyping Jaden up where he's like Caleb Williams, right? Or he's like Carson Palmer, or he's like a Heisman level quarterback. What Jaden Maiava is he's an elite operator of the Lincoln Riley offense. When things are on schedule, when things are on time, he's efficient, he's accurate, and he knows how to distribute the ball to his playmakers. He's not the guy that's going to put you on his back, carry you down the field, making the defense bend to his will. That's not Jaden's game. He is calm, in control, but operates within the confines of the offense. And when things get off timing, off structure, off platform, his mechanics go to shit and bad things usually happen. And we saw that tonight. They were bracketing Makai Lemon, and I'm pretty wound up, and I am forgetting the kid's name for Notre Dame, that big corner that they had on Makai Lemon, but they shut Makai down the majority of the game. They did a fantastic job. Their game plan was so good defensively. Lincoln Riley got completely outcoached. But on the field, too, Makai Lemon lost the battle the majority of the time. Although he was bracketed, there were 2 guys on him a lot of the time. But just like we talked about in the game preview, I said that Notre Dame's likely going to play a ton of man coverage, try to take away the screen game, and that's exactly what they did. So Tanuk Hines had a pretty good game, 5 catches for 67 yards. Jacoby Lane ended up with a very good stat line, but overall he was inconsistent on the day. We don't have the difference makers at wide receiver. We have Makai Lemon, who's elite. We have Jacoby Lane, who has stretches of brilliance, but is far too inconsistent. And then you have Tanuk Hines, who's a serviceable guy. And then Lincoln doesn't really trust anybody else in the entire room. There are 3 wide receivers that we trust in this game. Now, I'll have to go back and do the rewatch, but Notre Dame was doing something schematically that took away that seam ball. That's something I'll talk about more on the What We Learned video that will be out Monday. But we just don't have the difference makers in the passing game. If Makai Lemon isn't doing crazy shit and dominating on the field, we're not going to be as efficient or productive moving the ball through the air. Now, offensive line-wise, rough game for Tobias Raymond, rougher game for Alani Noah, and that makes sense. This was the best defensive line that we've gone up against, in my opinion. And there were a lot of people during the week saying some crazy stuff that we don't need Elijah Page, and even if he's healthy, don't play him because the lineup we have is better. No, guys, having one of the best tackles in the Big Ten is kind of a big deal. Like, I can't believe that I have to say this out loud to some of our fans, but I do. Elijah Page is very, very good. Not having him out there was huge. And we're also missing Killian O'Connor, and we're also missing DJ Wingfield, although Micah Benuelos, at first glance, I think played a pretty good game. And by the way, when I say pretty good game, I am grading it on a scale. The entire offensive line was not good enough tonight. But I guess how I should phrase it is they weren't catastrophic. Like, the offensive line performance in 2023 was much worse than what we saw tonight. I know that's a very low bar, but still needed to be said. So where do we go from here is the big question. Well, our next game is at Nebraska. We have a bye week, which is much needed for health reasons. But until we prove that we can win a big road game, I'm not going to expect us to. What reason is there to believe that USC is going to win that game? We don't have one unless you're just being a fan and you're like, oh, we're going to win every game, which is totally fine. If that's your mentality and the way you go about it, God bless you. I wish I shared your optimism. I really do. But when this team goes on the road, we're soft. I know a lot of people don't like that word. They get offended by it. It's the reality of the situation. We are much like Utah in the sense that at home, man, we are a damn good team. We can compete with anybody. We're going to give you our best shot. But when we're on the road, different story. All those big changes that Lincoln Riley talked about for this year, clearly haven't done anything. A lot of you got mad at me when I said that the food poisoning thing was overblown. Well, there wasn't any food poisoning tonight, and we looked the exact same that we did against Illinois. So we're finding out who this team is more and more each week. One common theme is I don't think we're that well coached. Just across the board, I think we severely overhype this coaching staff. They're not elite on the defensive side. The linebacker room has significantly regressed, in my opinion, under Rob Ryan. Tonight was one of the more shocking linebacker performances as a group I've seen from USC in a long, long time. Guys just getting planted by tight ends. Like, it was just non-competitive from our linebackers on a lot of reps. And yeah, this team just doesn't do things that are required to win on the road. We finally take the lead in that third quarter and immediately give up a kick return touchdown. At that point, I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. We're so mentally fragile on the road. We can't even hold on to the lead for a minute in the third quarter. Brutal, brutal play. The Jaden Maiava interception. Sometimes Jaden just gets a little lackadaisical with his mechanics. Like, there's not enough urgency there. Cam Ward had this issue at Miami a lot last year. He throws off his back foot when he doesn't need to. He doesn't put his full body into throws. And we saw it on that one. The throw was just a little bit behind Jacoby Lane and a very easy interception for the Notre Dame defensive back. I do apologize that there's not like a set format for these instant reactions. My brain's kind of scattered. I'm upset. I'm angry. I'm not in a good mood. I'm not crashing out like I normally do. I'm sure you guys have noticed. I've had a long time to accept this loss because as soon as we gave up that kick return touchdown, I knew that it was over. So I've been sitting on this for a while, but I know I'm kind of all over the place. So again, I do apologize. This was absolutely a winnable game, and that's why it sucks so bad. This is not one of the better Irish teams. They might go on and do something special. I don't know, but they weren't special tonight. They couldn't make kicks. They were kicking it out of bounds. CJ Carr was having an absolute stinker for the majority of this game. And we did everything in our power to not only keep them in the game, but to keep them ahead. And when we fell behind late and had to start throwing, it was a wrap. Lincoln Riley was not good enough tonight. Danton Lynn hasn't been good enough for the majority of the season. We're lacking personnel in a bunch of areas on this roster. And sadly, I feel much more confident that my 8-4 preseason prediction is going to come true. I do not see us winning at Oregon, and Nebraska is going to be an absolutely tough game as well. But guys, I'm tired. I'm cranky. I'm in a bad mood. I hate losing to Notre Dame. So I'm going to get out of here. If you guys did happen to enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You guys are all awesome. And as always, take care and fight on.